Premiership men's match between Watsonians and Heriot. We're looking forward to a really exciting game this evening, with Heriot second in the table and undefeated this season, and Watsonians closely behind. I'm just about to run through the team, and we'll start off with Heriot. At 1, it's Angus Monroe. At 2, Michael Renee. At 3, Ewan McLaren. In the second row at 4, it's Ronan Sanak, and 5, Charlie Jump. In the back row at 6, it's Rory Kirkpatrick. At 7, Lynn Thomas, and number 8, Rory Leishman. At 9, it's St. John Brown. At standoff 10, it's Ross Jones. And then on the wings, we've got 11, Zach Ross, and number 14, George Cowell. In the centres, at 12, it's Angus Hunter, and 13, Thomas Glendenning, and at full-back, it's Dan King. And the Heriot substitutes are 16, William Deline, 17, Jason Hill, 18, Patrick Spence, 19, Innes Hill, 20, Freddie Gibson, 21, Kenta Kutsuna, and number 22, Rory Steele.
Yeah, I have to change it.
And now the Watsonian team. At 1, Craig Davidson. At 2, Hooker, Carl Davis. And at 3, Tom Gracie. In the second row, it's 4, Louis Ball, and 5, Quagga Van Niekerk. And in the back row, it's 6, Seth Cecil, 7, Stu Allison, and 8, Neil Irvin Hess. At 9, Murray Scott. At standoff 10, it's Jason Baggett. Then on the wings, we've got 11, Roman McPherson, and 14, Josh Mitchell. In the centres, we've got 12, Ronan Kerr, and 13, Bruce Bell. And at 15, full-back, it's Freddie Owsley. And the Watsonians replacements are 16, Matt Pitcher, 17, Donald Moss, 18, Kieran Watt, 19, Andrew Stephen, 20, Murray Tink, 21, Chris Bell, and 22, Harry Fisher. There'll be no game without the match officials. It's always great to give them a mention. Our referee tonight is Michael Todd, and he's ably assisted by Callum Waymeyer and David Shane Lang. And our board team for this evening, so we've got some young lads. We've got Ben, Murray, Tom, Harry, and Cameron. So they'll be opening up the side. A couple of housekeeping things that we can speak to now, and I'll mention it again later on. Tomorrow is the George Whitman College Open Day, so if you can, we really appreciate if you've got any rubbish, you're drinking any coffees, any beer glasses, please can you make sure you put them in the bins that are ably provided, and that's much appreciated. And then last but not least, I'd like a shout out to our sponsors, who are DHL, Icelandic, Stephen Paul Garden Maintenance, Harvestone Brewery, the Quarter Mile Group, Buxton Roofing, Leader Lane Finance, and Anderson and Edwards. Thank you very much. We're about 7 or 8 minutes to go into the game.
old rivals come head to head under the lights in Edinburgh as our coverage of the Arnold Clark Premiership continues. Watsonians and Heriots have been fierce and friendly rivals for a long time. And tonight they come fit once more. It should be a cracking contest. Edinburgh, Myreside is the venue for Watsonians FC against Heriots. Hello everybody, I'm Paul Mitchell alongside me former Scotland internationalist Lee Jones. We will guide you through this fixture. Beautiful sight of Edinburgh, Arthur's Seat in the distance. It really is a gorgeous playing surface here at Myreside as we get ready for some terrific rugby between two old rivals. Lee Jones is alongside me. Lee, there's always something a little bit special when these two get together.
Yeah, and this fixture's only been in the books for a wee while. It's been on the fixture list, but Edinburgh Derby, and it just so happens that these teams are at the top of the league. Obviously Heriot's 5 from 5, Watsonians close behind in third, so it's teed up to be a really competitive match 6 games into the season.
Back into Arnold Clark Premiership action. Let's have a look at how the table looks at the moment for these two clubs. It's been a great start to the season for Watsonians. Ayr lead the way, a perfect 5 out of 5. Heriot's also 5 out of 5, but this will be a big test tonight. Watsonians have won 3, lost 2. And they've had a good start to the season though, and credit to Edinburgh Accies and Selkirk as well, who have hit the ground running. For this weekend, the men's Scottish Premiership looks like this. We kick it off tonight between Watsonians and Heriots here. Myreside. A couple of great games. Curry Chieftains against Mar tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Glasgow Hawks against Melrose. Kelso against Ayr. That will be entertaining. Ayr top of the table. Musselburgh against Hawick. Hawick champions of the league last season, looking to bounce back. And Selkirk, who are doing well this term, welcome Edinburgh Accies. A very tasty set of fixtures. So Watsonians come into this one. Good win against Hawick last week. Edinburgh Accies they took care of Melrose quite comfortably, and the only loss in that 4 late was a loss at Ayr, but when it's within 1 score, it's never too bad.
Yeah, it was a tricky start for Watsonians, losing their first one against Kelso as well, but they've really picked up the momentum, and you can see the number of points they've scored in those matches as well, so they're carrying real momentum into a home fixture as well against a local rival.
Well, the Heriots themselves are no slouches. They are 5 out of 5 so far this season. They too beat Edinburgh Accies and Hawick. The win against Mar was very impressive, 22 points, and last weekend at Golden Acre. That's a good margin of victory against a Curry team that perhaps a little bit disappointing on last term, but you've still got to beat certainly what is in front of you. So, two teams that will go head to head and toe to toe. Heriots have got 1 or 2 issues at the front row that they will hopefully have been looking to make an awful lot better. For Watsonians, well, they've got a lot of experience in that team. Both these teams dropping down from the Super 6. Of course, Heriots played in the Premiership last season. Watsonians come up from National 1. And it's Heriots who take to the field, led by Rory Lishman in their old familiar colours of the blue and white. So Heriots with Josh Scott unavailable. Angus Monroe starts at loose head, having impressed off the bench last week. Hugh McLaren returns at tight head. Zach Ross starts on the wing after a strong showing off the bench last week, but there is no Stuart Cessford. 2 yellow cards in the game means he's serving a suspension. He'll miss out for the next couple of weeks. Well, Friday night derby under lights, a significant challenge comes against Heriots, an informed team that cut their straps very quickly and remain undefeated, says Davy Wilson, the head coach of Watsonians. And here are Watsonians. Jason Baggett returns at 10. And Lewis Ball, co-captain, also back in. Seb Cecil comes in. He's making his first league start of the campaign. Murray Tink was listed to start. He's now on the bench with Stuart Allison listed at 7 instead. Our referee is Michael Todd, who's assisted by Callum Wamer and David Changlin. And Ross Jones gets us underway. And the mark is taken. That's a good kick, clearance up to the halfway line. So the first throw will come for Michael Lannis. Just inside enemy territory stand Watsonians. Angus Monroe goes over to have a little word. So Lannis. That down nicely onto Broad. Broad moves it across, out wide it comes. There's the kick chase. But he was like, well, there's a knock on, so the advantage comes the way. Murray Scott plays it. Good drive in from Stuart Allison, wearing 7. And Newkirk and Ball are a formidable 4 and 5. And Murray Scott readies himself for the kick, almost charged down by Rory Fitzpatrick. Nicely taken by Dan King. Heriot's there in good number. Offside certainly appeared to be. The advantage is coming. Michael Lineen into contact. There's Ross Jones with the long kick. That's well dealt with, and back inside.
Keep working.
Baggett booms it away. Heriot's trying to see if there's an advantage to be gained, but that's a little bit too straight.
Hold it, Watson's
there again.
Work. Yeah, good.
Taken on the slide. Beautifully done by Dan King. When this slows down to 100 miles an hour, we'll get us to from Lee Jones. Nicely done. Broad, drop the shoulder. Here McLaren providing guard.
Backwards off blue, play on.
Ball appeared to spill, the referee was happy.
On the body.
Ronan Seda is not giving up the ball. And the first penalty goes the way of Watsonians.
12, good position, you pulled it
Yeah,
down.
2.5 minutes in, I guess. The new law variation coming in where you can now mark from kickoff really took the sting out that first, that first moment of the game that everybody's kind of been built up and waiting for. But then off the first line out, it's descended into some real competition between the two sides. Watsonians end up winning the penalty. There was a couple of good takes at the back from Freddie Owsley, employed at full back, normally playing on the wing, but he's played well at 15 in the last fixture, so he's in there tonight and has managed to earn his team a penalty.
Come on, you're on the edge of the white edges, come on, cross. 1 metre, in we come, there we go, thank you.
Caldeus, a familiar figure for Watsonians, gets ready to get the throw in. Seb Cecil with a headband near the front.
Good contact,
it's well disrupted by Heriot.
Scum advantage,
Bouncing
knock on
around,
in
it's a
yet.
horrible one. Caldeus did well to drop on it. Murray Scott gets it moving.
Lads, let go now.
The referee just holding Heriot's on. First chance for Ronan Kerr. Kerr taken down by Sedak. Out wide. 8 is Neil Irvin Hess. Driving across was Josh Mitchell. That was nicely flicked across by Lewis Ball. Penalty advantage coming the way of Watsonians, so they can fling this around if they want. Stuart Allinson into contact. There's a little reverse ball round to Lewis Berwick. Neil Irvin Hess drops it with a penalty advantage. Will go the way of Watsonians, who Lee Jones have started brightly.
Yeah, I think they have, and they've got a home crowd behind them as well. You heard the cheer on that first penalty.
Get the corner called.
And the same again. There's a lot of experience across this Watsonian side, and with the players coming back in this week, and Jason Baggett, Seb Cecil as well. You've got the likes of Lewis Berg, who has played so many matches over the last few seasons for Watsonians. There's real leadership and experience there that in a home fixture they'll be looking to guide their team around the park tonight and against some really tough opposition.
Taken again, there's the rolling maul. That's going to be hard to stop. Heriot's having trouble, and if the referee can see it, He's given the penalty try. He'd already called the penalty, and the penalty try is awarded. And Watsonians strike first.
Yeah, Watsonians feeding off the momentum there.
Clear collapse before the line.
And kick to touch, get the line out drive going. And no one credited with that one as the referee opted for the penalty try. Watsonians will be happy with that start. Just real momentum. And the drive, there wasn't a lot Heriot could do. They ended up wiping their legs. The referee brings penalty try with a quick decision.
So the yellow card has come out as well. That's Rory Fitzpatrick. Has been yellow carded, so
yeah, no advantage, lost forward in the air.
As that was taken, but it was knocked on. It's a double whammy, isn't it, Lee? Not only do you lose the penalty try, the automatic conversion, but you've got a player in the bin as well.
Yeah, and it's early in the match as well. To lose a player, it's all the momentum has lied with Watsonians so far, and it will be, 10 minutes. Lose a man, Heriot will be keen to try and stem the tide. We're only 6 minutes in, but they want to try and grasp a bit of that momentum themselves. Get hands on ball, especially with a man down.
Bind! Set!
Murray Scott with the put in.
Okay,
The Heriots have kept it steady. 11 Hess saw the ball poked out. But what a run! And the opportunity to move. Looking up, looking for support. And in the end, Kerr taken down. Watsonians moving, trying to make the man advantage tell. Lewis Ball.
Okay, leave it now, lost. Good.
Josh Mitchell's battling in there. It comes off to Tom Gracie. Gracie, a couple of tries against Hoyt last week. Freddie Oslick taken down that time. Thomas Glendenning, former airman. Crockett. And Neacock just couldn't get that away quickly. Good tackling by Heriots. Murray Scott through the hands of Jason Baggett. Neil Van Hess runs into Sadak. Tried to rip the ball. Comes back now. Lewis Ball. And that's spilled. And we hear some cheers from the Heriots fans. We've not really heard them too much so far in the opening 8 minutes.
No, good defence there to force the turnover. There was a break from deep. Loman McPherson it was a loose ball that carried off the back of the scrum, but it opened up and Watsonians get themselves up to the 22. They're looking to play that short side a lot, which is keeping the Heriots defence honest before they even get to the middle of the pitch. Murray Scott's looking for his players to reset on that short side and get back down there, which I guess early in the match will keep this Heriots defence honest. It's maybe a view to playing a bit wider later on, but there's a definite tactic there for players to get back on their feet and utilise that space in the short side for Watsonians.
So the front row of Angus Monroe, Michael Inez and Ewan McLaren for Heriots up against Craig Davidson, Cal Davis and Thomas Gracie for Watsonians.
The gap's too big for me. We're both going to overlead. I feel the gap's slightly too big. Can we just close it in a
Michael Todd doesn't like that.
Yeah, for me,
Here's the chance to reset.
When we close. Thank you.
Here we go. Come on now. Let's go, Gussie.
I guess Heriots won't mind the slight delay as time ticks away with the man in the bin. You're just trying to make sure no further damage is done.
Yeah, that's true. They've got the ball now, and yes, they'll look for opportunities, but if there's any chance to run that clock down, then I'm sure they'll take that.
Not an easy one for Broad to take. Jones with a long kick. Well, that's going to come all the way back. It's straight outside the 22 and popped it away. And that's the kind of mistake you don't want to be when you're down to 14.
Yeah, it was tight, wasn't it, on the touchline, but The loose ball from the scrum just makes that kick a wee bit harder to get away, especially when there's pressure on.
St John Broad wears 9.
Here we come. Okay, who's receiver? Okay, thank you. In you come, please.
So Craig Davidson with the call. Carl Davis
Maul.
with the throw in.
And over the line.
Taken by Watsonians. Heriots immediately drop themselves and then come up. Linus, the maul. Heriots are going to have to commit players to this. Good effort by Flynn Thomas, but the ball is moved wide.
Dipping.
Again, tough tackling, but not going down. Good fighting from Ronan Kerr. Heriots in trouble here. Davidson tries to go through.
Ball still there. Play on.
Lifted out. Great tag team tackle to take ball back.
Set there.
The ball though does remain Watsonians. There goes Tom Gracie.
No hands, blue, lost. You play. Okay, leave it. Your
You
second
can feel Heriots being stretched here. Now it comes out taken by Carl Davis. Man who's known to have crossed the try line on a good few occasions. Baggett, little ball in behind onto Kerr. Good tackling by Heriots again, including Dan King. King trying to get involved again. Watsonians. Linus strong in the tackle. And his ball went upright. Here's Carl Davis again from Murray Scott. Back to the blind side. Ronan Kerr tries to get those toes a twinkling.
Contact, not high. Clear dip.
There it goes out wide. There's a gap opening up, but again, good strong tackling. It's Flynn Thomas.
Advantage offside.
Back once more.
Offside.
There's the little offload. There's the opportunity to come through, but repelled once again. It was Seb Cecil. Such a danger close to the line. And the two get over. Neil Irvin Hess is the scorer. And the skipper gets the high fives. And Lee, that was just simple. Pressure.
Yeah, and good variety in the play. Murray Scott was mixing it up well for once. Watsonians actually got to width. And they got a bit more of their standard shape going, using both sides of that ruck with strong carries though. Seb Cecil with the carry there. And then Murray Scott finds Neil Irvin Hess and he manages to spin away. He shows good strength to get over. It all started Ronan Kerr back with the first carry, the leg drive. And that really got Watsonians up towards that 5 metre line. Really good field position, and you know, Heriots defended well, but Watsonians relentless, like to say, running good lines, strong in the contact, and eventually Neil Irvin Hess goes over.
10 gone, lads. 15 gone. Not so far.
Jason Baggett has returned from holiday to play in this one.
Yeah, perfect. Cheers. Thank you.
49 points for the season.
Yeah, cheers.
I give him a big build up to hit the half century, and he doesn't convert. Such a good kicker too, but off target on that occasion. So it's a 12-0 success. Let's have another look at the try. And it's the power in the end, and Neil Irvin Hess, little twist to the body as well. When he took on 2 defenders, he still had 3 metres to go.
Yeah, he gets right in between those 2 defenders, but then managing to spin away. The fact that Murray Scott picked that ball up from the scrum, just held the defence for that half second, which meant allowed Neil Irvin Hess a bit of extra time, but he shows really good strength, as we know he has, to get over.
Second try of the season in his 6th Premiership game. And interesting, because you can always trace it back to that was Ross Jones just adjudged to be outside the 22, the clearing kick, instead of being inside the Watsonians half, they're all the way back, and that's what caused the problem.
Yeah, I guess things go from bad to worse for Heriots on that occasion. Had that kick been out, it could have been a different story, but you know, we've talked about them trying to manage the clock now with a player in the bin, but you know, worst case scenario, they leak points, and that's what they've managed to do.
Get that step off there on the line, yeah. There goes. Numbers, please. 5.
Well, Heriots will take their time over this throw. Watsonians last season 6th in National 1. They were 4th in the Super Series sprint, the Super 16. That's overthrown. And there's a chance again, getting away. There's a little step inside. It's brilliant rugby from Stuart Allison. And again, Heriots are on their heels. Here's Baggett. Baggett through Kerr. Kerr through Berg. Out wide onto Freddie Owsley. Owsley dragged down. 2 metres short. Scott plays it across. Don't think they're going to keep him out, will they? Tell you what, loose ball was close. That's closer. And it is nicely done. Well, he's been there already tonight. And he's there again, Neil Irvin Hess. Back-to-back scores. Heriot's down to 14 with a man in the bin, and the skipper is making them pay.
Back-to-back scores in all of about 30 seconds for Neil Irvin Hess. It started with Watsonians again marking that kick-off. An obvious tactic. They kicked the touch. Heriot with the overthrow. And it was Stuart Allison with the break, wasn't it? He was running like a centre, the open side flanker. He got his team up into the 22, and then it was quick ball. Murray Scott down that short side, coming back into Seb Cecil, and then Neil Irvin Hess. It's familiar names. And he goes over for his second. Watsonians really just grabbed the momentum between their teeth, and they're really pushing for it.
Well, last time the sides met here, Heriot's won by 64 points to 0. One of the more unbelievable scorelines between these two teams. And it certainly looks like Watsonians have got a point to prove back on home soil. Jason Baggett. Well, he was picking up the tee before that across the bar. 51 points for the season now. And it's a 19 point to 0 advantage. 3 tries in the opening 17 minutes.
Time off. Change. Yeah, that's fine. Time back on when you're ready.
Good body height that time by Neil Irvin Hess. Just gets low enough. So tough to stop from a couple of yards out.
But it's tried to gather through Thomas Glendenning.
Okay, use it, please. Stop. Advantage it over.
Good clearing kick.
Yeah, line please, Watson.
Heriot's looking to switch their
5 called.
kick off on that occasion. Kicking back to the left hand side. Maybe just to try and mix things up a bit, because they've not had too much joy on the right hand side so far.
So Flynn Thomas has come off. He's been replaced by Pat Spence, who will wear 18. Knock on either way.
Both shoulders. Both shoulders.
They'll have to come back. He's going away, Zach Ross. But the ball was spilled. And at the moment, Lee Heriot's just can't catch a break.
Yeah, nothing going their way. And it's times like this in matches, and sometimes the more you try to fix things, you know, these errors just continue. There'll come a point when they'll settle into this one, but you know, when you're staring down 19 points, it gets tougher and tougher. I feel like their line-out's not operating too well at the moment. You know, even if they are winning ball, it's not clean, and then the pressure from Watsonians is just forcing mistakes.
Yeah, lads, this is...
The referee wants a reset here.
Yeah.
So Pat Spence introduced into the action.
There's the mark.
Just 18 years old, played for Edinburgh against Glasgow just a few weeks ago at the Hive. Edinburgh winning that one. Up against quite an experienced Watsonians pack.
Crouch!
So Bob McKillop, and Heriot's head coach, will be wondering what he can do to change things. Scott coming in off the wing was Mitchell. Now there's the run. Freddie Owsley. There's trouble here again. Owsley might try and go all the way on the outside. He is quick. He's lightning, and he's over the line for the score.
Outstanding pace from Freddie Owsley. It's very similar. You watch the highlights of that Hoyk Watsonians game last week. He scored a very similar try where he comes off that left foot. He gets on the arc. The initial break was tremendous. It was a good set piece from the backs. Stands up his last man.
Yeah.
And he just gets round. It's just he's a player that you know has pace, but it's difficult to stop, especially just coming across there very laterally, and there's so much space. He finishes it really well.
Well, if you're a winger in that situation, Lee, you want some help from the touchline, but you're so far away, you're basically giving that side up. You could see that Zach Ross had to wait one side then to try and shift it.
Yeah, he's had to come across from the left-hand side to cover that break, from his blind side wing. So it's a tough position to be in any case, but when you're up against a guy like Freddie Owsley, who's got that just ability to get lateral and real pace, it's going to be difficult to stop him.
So the conversion attempt from Jason Baggett, and again he's picked up the tee before the ball is over the bar. He knew where that was going. Well, Freddie Owsley played 3 times for Edinburgh. He's known as being lightning fast, and there he brought the thunder as well. He knew he was going all the way, the celebration and the dive and style. Heriots have the advantage here. That's no, the referee's just pushing them back. Michael Todd, the referee, that comes back inside. Baggett bangs it away. South African Dan King ignores the jeers from the home crowd for a good take. Broad. He's the way through for Leishman and Co. Pat Spence on the carry. Jones. Jones pokes it through. Baggett comes across to help, but he doesn't need it. Freddie Owsley is back. Watsonians a little bit slow to get back into their line, do so now. And Heriots would like to spend a little bit of time inside their opponent's 22. It's just something they haven't done. Back it comes. And Baggett doesn't find touch. Heriots are going to swing this open. Glendenning. No, it's too much. And again, it was like pops that away. Heriots thought about going quickly, but thought better of it. And really, in this opening 23 minutes, Lee, it has just been all Watsonians.
Yeah, there was an opportunity there for Heriots, but Watsonians just take the sting out of that attack again. Ross Jones was, a smart kick in behind. He didn't try and overplay, which meant that Heriots could then get counter-attack ball, and they had real width. But unfortunately, the kick went straight into the hands of Freddie Owsley, and he continues with his first 23 minutes of form and clears well.
Spence does well. Now Jones with an offload onto Charlie Jupp. Back with Broad to Linus trying to drive his way through, getting some help from Gus Monroe. Through the hands there of Angus Hunter. Breaking in off the wing, Zach Ross.
Play on, no knock on.
Well, Sonny's looked offside. Referee happy that the kick was away. It's another booming ball, but that's gone straight out. And a mistake on that occasion by Watsonians. And Heriots will get their best field position set up in a while.
Yeah, it was a lovely piece of play by Ross Jones, the quick hands. He knew that Zach Ross was on his shoulder, able to inject him into the line. Gain a bit of front foot ball for Heriots.
So Heriot's last season, 3rd in the Super Series sprint, 5th overall in the Premiership. And Spence again as the target near the front. Heriots have enjoyed a good recent run in Super Series matches against Watsonians. And it's Watsonians tonight with the advantage. Penalty advantage, Heriots.
What? 3 out! Playing penalty advantage.
That's Broad. Gets ejected. The scrum half. Yeah, penalty will come.
1 and 3 side entry.
And if you're Heriots there, you're actually just waiting for the whistle. There's nothing coming from that at all.
Yeah, it becomes so static that there's no real opportunity with a Watsonians defence that's set. Much rather
so for me, you've not hit
wait for the referee to blow the penalty, get to the corner.
I understand, but then you can't then
and
reach
a
on
rare
to the next
opportunity.
man, that's the issue. Line please, or just off?
No, we've not really seen what this back line can do yet.
Thank you. Lads, who's receiver? You in or out?
I'm receiver.
Okay, stay 10 please, thank you. Yeah, good there, thank you.
So remember, Heriots perfect 5 out of 5 this season, taken well by Rory Leishman as they vary the line out. Linus has the ball at the back.
One stop.
That's one stop. We're going to have to move this. Comes out through Broad. Montangus Hunter. Hunter swallowed up. Broad there again, onto Ross Jones. Jones gets it through. George Kuhl. There's an intercept. And Zach Ross has to try and gather. It's a great little offload. Heriots trying to get this into touch. High tackle and a little bit of afters coming. The 2 fullbacks. And then the smiles from Dan King and Freddie Owsley. And the referee just indicating high tackle.
Yeah, another really important piece of play from Freddie Owsley, managing to pick off that wide pass. The Watsonians defence was set really wide, and because they were all slowed down, they were able to get real width. But Heriot's and Zach Ross on the wing, and there was an opportunity there, but Freddie Owsley smartly just manages to get into that passing lane between the 2 players and pick it off. He's been strong in attack so far, but also defensively, he's taking his high balls, and that's a key pick at that moment.
Now, I'm not going to suggest you were in many teams that were 26-0 down, but pretend you were. What's going through your mind if you're a Heriots player at the moment?
Yeah, it's tough because you're obviously conscious of the scoreboard. There's 4 tries in. You're just trying to do something right to try and gain a bit of momentum, and Watsonians for all money are just putting that to bed. So there probably has to be a bit of trust, and this will probably come from the coaches. It might be at half time that there's a long time left to play, so you've almost got to play the long game in that sense, and understand that you don't have to win the game in the next 5 minutes. There's a lot of time left. There's time to build momentum. There's time to build confidence and get themselves back into the game, and don't go chasing things. But it's easier said than done. You almost need a break and play, almost like this at the moment, where captains can just get their players in and have a quiet word.
That's the big figure of Ronan Sidak, who is down at the moment, 30-year-old, 4th league appearance of the season. And you see Jason Baggett has ball in hand. Right angle, but a decent kick.
It's also such an unfamiliar position for Heriot. 5 games into the season, 5 games from 5, they've not been here.
That's fine, broke the seam through the
Leishman's come through well there.
That's now a tackle.
Tries to turn things, and that's the first thing really that's gone Heriot's way. Angus Monroe drops on the ball. Broad trying to gather it. Jason Hill is on, he wears 17. Standing up against Van Niekerk. There's the kick from Broad. The pressure comes and it's well taken. Oh, and there's room to run too. Well, Mitchell took it through. And the home crowd expected skullduggery, but didn't appear to be anything wrong. Kerr through the hands, Glendinning. And then he tried to drive through, stopped by Charlie Jupp.
Tackle not high for me.
Van Niekerk waiting for it.
Okay, let's use it, 9. Okay, let's go. No.
So confirmation that after the injury, Ronan Sedak's had to be replaced.
Yeah, I'll step.
Heriot's just trying to find a way to settle themselves down and try and get into this game. That looked an awkward one for Jones. He somehow gets it away. Baggett takes it. He fancies a little run. He's got speed outside him in the shape of Josh Mitchell. Van Niekerk gets the ball away beautifully. Heriot's again fumbling in the dark to try and get the ball.
Good hit.
That's a good stop.
No, move.
Ball again drives in so well. A little shuffle of the feet from Ronan Kerr. Roman McPherson's calling for it out there. Not held.
Okay, held now. Let's go.
And again brought back by Murray Scott. Thomas Gracie is having a good game. Oh, the ball's been ripped. But a penalty.
You're not on your feet. You're off feet playing the ball. Yeah.
And that will go against the man who's the most recent incumbent to the field, Jason Hill.
Off feet, playing the ball.
Well, you can tell, Lee, that Baggett's going to pop this in the corner and Heriots are going to be under real pressure again.
Yeah, you can see Heriot's what they're trying to do and just win a turnover, you know, try and stem the flow, but as I said, it often goes from bad to worse, and you know, the ball back into Watsonians' hands, penalty kick to the corner, and you know, with such a strong line-out drive, it's an ominous position for Heriot.
It's been won. Round the corner they come. Ian McLaren trying to hold up. Round the corner they come. It's very, very tight. Trying to break through the middle. Heriot's holding up. They're trying to get the man down, and that will be held up. It's good work from Heriot. You saw the contact very high up, Lee, and if you're the attacking player, if you're caught before you can get down, you know you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, they just managed to slow things down enough that they could get set and get their body height, managed to hold them up, and that's a real win for Heriot, because now with that going to goal line drop out, it's a chance for them to clear their lines.
Taken nicely, there's a little clip kick through.
No, it's bounced fast.
And that will go out of play. Heriot's take quickly. Ooh, that was dodgy.
Start in front, Blue, stop!
Brave.
Good now.
When you're 26-0 down, that is a little bit gallus. Baggett.
Stop in front!
Booms it again. Mosley gathers after it. Dropped that time by King. And Watsonians are all over this. Seb Cecil lifts it long. 13 is Lewis Baird, dragged down well by Zach Ross. Driving through is Carl Davis. Douglas. Crashing in there is Craig Davidson. Seb Cecil, they're taking the spin, but he's repelled, and the ball pops its way out. Hill takes down Baggett. Somehow he gets the pass away. Van Niekerk. And the referee basically say the pass was forward.
It's clearly offloaded forward.
I'm still not sure how that ball evaded the clutches of Jason Baggett.
It was starting to break up there, wasn't it? A few offloads coming into it.
For me to tie off.
You know, that all came, the turnover came from Jason Baggett, put up the up and under, and for all money it was potentially too long, but when you've got someone like Freddie Owsley chasing, he's so fast that then takes the catcher's eye off the ball bounced, Watsonians win the ball back. So just that small bit of work, Freddie Owsley and his team the ball back, and again gave them good momentum down that short side.
I can't
There's a few offloads coming into it, but it's good defence. Good defence from Jason Hill on Jason Baggett there, which forced the offload, but then allowed Heriots to win the force the knock on at the next phase.
Yeah, he's going to have to come off that.
Now we have a break. We've got time to touch on the fact that not only are Heriot's 26 points down, but they've had to go to the bench now 3 times. Yeah. I mean, the happiness is that Jason Hill is off and Ronan Sedak is back again, but you know, they've had to use Jason Hill, they've had to use Pat Spence.
Never seen that before. Yeah. No, it's not as bleeding as
Watsonians are going to have to make a change as well.
Your loose head.
Looks like Craig Davidson is off and Donald Vos.
Yeah, if I've got 7:40 left, it's pretty much bang on.
So Donald Vos is on.
Okay. Time back on. Here's a mark.
Carl Davis is now not the front row player with least amount of hair. Well, Heriot's looking to get in at the break without any further damage done.
Crouch!
Ideally, Lee, they'd love a score of their own, but they're under such pressure.
Set!
Yeah, and it's something they've not really come close to in the first 33 minutes. And like I say, they'll be keen to get to half time, but there's a long time left.
Well, Ross got the kick away. He's still going, and then his hand accidentally, I thought, landed in the face of George Cool. The two having a little word as the referee has brought that back. Forward pass, says the referee.
Forward pass is called. Yeah, I wondered why he brought that one back. It must have been close. It was a great pass. Well, I thought it was a great pass. It was forward in the referee's eyes, but it found good space. And it was Zach Ross who cleverly managed to get it on his break. But yep, unfortunately, it's been pulled back.
On a night where very little has gone right for the men from Golden Acre. Good crowd in attendance for this one. About 15 minutes driving distance separates these two teams, or an hour and 45 minutes usually, thanks to Edinburgh Roadworks. And it's on at Ronan Kerr. Round the corner it goes. Ball is popped out and regathered. Neil Irvin Hess, who's on a hat-trick, gets the ball from Scott. Baggett plays it across. Back to Seb Cecil. Murray Scott again gets things moving. Jan Davis dips the shoulder. Scott again. On to Baggett. Baggett round to Kerr. Lovely ball from Ronan Kerr back on the inside. There's a little flip pass up to Seb Cecil. Angus Monroe tried the rip. Baggett pulls it back. Lewis Berg. There's the little offload, Freddie Owsley, but the pass is forwards. Good supporting run from Loman McPherson, but the pass was forward, and Heriots will get the put in.
Yeah, it was a close call, and you could see Freddie Owsley just coming short line there in between defenders, but often when you're forcing the ball carrier to make that pass, and often it creeps forward. On another occasion it's a great line and you go through, but Watsonians just able to play with real fluidity so far. They're really enjoying playing to their shape and generating quick ball. Heriot's really struggling to slow things down and stem the momentum.
Heriot's scrum is stable. Jones gets things moving. Here's Dan King. Zach Ross. Ross is quick, but he's taken down there. Owsley tries to go in there. King on the clear out. And there's Rory Leishman. Leishman forced back into Fitzpatrick. And there's Jones again. He realises there's nobody in on that far side. Loma McPherson goes there, somehow takes it.
Flat. Backwards. Dipping.
Well, just when it looked like Heriot's might be in on the attack, that was a lovely take by Loma McPherson as the penalty goes against Watsonians. Calm defending by the young man.
Yeah, showed good composure and then manages to sneak up the short side. It's a good kick by Ross Jones. And then some nice interlinking play by Watsonians.
Everything that Heriots have got from an attacking standpoint has come so difficult. The level of difficulty has been there. The ball hasn't been clean, it hasn't been quick.
Yeah, and I think you could see it there. Watsonians are putting so much pressure on the ruck. Watsonians are having to scrap the ball away, and eventually Ross Jones is having to try and find space in the backfield, but also under pressure. And it's because Watsonians, renowned for their, their
Leishman did well.
Displays.
Back it comes. Here's Jones trying to set up the attack. Angus Hunter. Glendenning in support. He's got away. They've not held him. Cal Davis does. Can Heriots find points? There's a little jig kick through. And the penalty will come. I think Ross Jones knew the penalty was a possibility. Watsonians were up and offside. And now really kick to the corner and see if you can get through. Well, now's the time to look through your portfolio of fine plays from a line out and find one that works.
Yeah, I mean, even at this early stage of the game, you're thinking this could potentially be a key moment, before you head into half time. All the momentum, all the territory, all the possession, all the points have been with Watsonians. Nothing's gone right for Heriot. I think from their point of view, they'll at least think the second half can't go any worse than the first, and that's a perspective I'm sure they'll be taking on it. But with 30 seconds to go on the clock, this gives them a real opportunity just to try and switch things around.
It's almost a double-edged sword here, because if they don't get over the line in some ways, it's just another boost for Watsonians, who feel like they're controlling the game already. Let's see what happens from the line out. Disrupted, but Heriot's tried to get there. Sedak goes across. And the knock-on is given. Well, Heriot's inquire. They may shake their head, but it was a miss from them. Scrum down.
Yeah, again, the Heriot's line out just misfiring. It's a win for Watsonians. It got scrappy, but I think it came off the Heriot's player, so you'd imagine Watsonians here will clear.
So Ronan Sedak is the man with no number, as we have hit the 40-minute mark.
That clock's right, pretty much.
I was going to say all Watsonians have to do is win the ball and put it out of play, but they're gallous enough not to. So Heriots won't take it for granted that is the plan.
Set! Stay on blue! Use!
Heriots trying to put pressure on the scrum, but here they go. Picked up by Neil Urban-Hess. He's still going. And if he gets up speed, he's hard to take. Well, I mentioned they'd go for it, and that's what they're doing. Berg sends it out. Mosley. Oh, he's got the legs. He's got one man to beat. He gets dragged down in the end. Well, this is end-to-end rugby. Just kept alive. Heriot's desperately trying to defend. Cecil has Davis on the outside of him. Baggett gets it off to Kerr. Heriot's line in trouble again. Back on the inside, there's the offload to Quagga Van Neerkerk. Leishman's holding him up, he's trying to rip the ball. Still back on Watsonians. Neil Urban-Hess is trying to get in there again. Somehow he's stopped short. scrum half with a feed. Davis stopped by a trio of nails. But there's the chance. The referee is going to say it's held up. Well, it was terrific play in the end, and you've got to give great credit to Angus Hunter for getting his body in and underneath here, because he saved the score. And he got and just made sure that his teammate wasn't going to get rolled over.
On that next one again, is that enough time for you to get a good bind?
Yeah, hats off to Angus Hunter. He's saved his team when everything's going wrong for him. He's managed to save a score at the tail end of the half.
I didn't really want to be Mystic Mitchell, but I mean, I did say that they would attack.
I was just going to say, you called it.
Yep.
Neil Irvin Hess, I guess. You're always going to have your 8 carry off that first phase, and he just managed to break through. And they do manage to go the length.
It's half time, yeah.
Watsonians come back for the penalty.
That's 20 now.
Well, they had the penalty advantage, and Jason Baggett says, I'll take the points on offer. Well, it's been a half to remember for Watsonians. It's been a half to forget for Heriots. 4 tries, a yellow card, a couple of conversions and a penalty late on. And if you are Davy Wilson, Mike Kerr, Richard Snedden and Finn Gillis, you'll be absolutely delighted at how it's been. Heriots deep breathing as they go off the bench. We will join them. That dressing room is not going to be a happy place at half time. It has been a great first half for the home side, who look set for their 4th league win of the season, leading at half time by 29-0. Well, Lee, I'm not really sure what the coaching staff can actually say to Heriots to try to get them lifted again. But I mean, some of the play that we saw from Watsonians, they were on the front foot from early doors, and they never relinquished that.
Yeah, and I think it was teed up to be such a competitive fixture, but what we've seen in the first 40 minutes, it's been absolutely one-sided. And rugby's often a game of momentum, and it's just all been with Watsonians. Whenever Heriots have tried to get a foothold in the game, Watsonians have forced a turnover, they've forced a knock-on, they've wrestled it back. But when they've had their opportunities, they've been really, really good. Both sides of the ball, they've defended really well, but then in attack, Freddie Owsley's been outstanding at full-back. He's been a real point of difference for them, both sides of the ball, and Watsonians really carrying that momentum they've gained in the last 3 matches into this one.
Well, let's have a look at the tries, and Watsonians, well, they started really, really quickly, moved things about well, and this was to prove to be a penalty try, and referee Michael Todd not hesitating here.
Yeah, it came from 2 penalties in quick succession from Watsonians. They kicked to the corner, and they scored 3 driving mauls last week against Hoyk. And they start in a similar fashion this week, and just the momentum. Also, the yellow card for Heriots.
Neil Irvin Hess, after some really good work from Seb Cecil, who's trying to batter his way through. Just watch the way that he takes on. Well, that's a prop and a scrum half, and together they couldn't hold off the Watsonian skipper. And that was not to be the first time that he was going to cross the line. He was in here again, Seb Cecil calling for it, but the skipper says, nope, thank you, I'll take that. And again, he goes low. Linus couldn't keep him out, neither could Charlie Jupp. You could see Jupp there wearing 5, anticipating a good defensive position, but he just couldn't get underneath.
Yeah, and when you've got 2 strike runners there in Seb Cecil and Neil Irvin Hess, you've got to try and cover both, which just opens it up for Neil Irvin Hess again for 2 tries in the space of 1 minute.
And Freddie Owsley, I mean, what a try that was. From inside his own half, took the ball and he went a-wandering. And, well, he strode across Myreside like he owned it.
Yeah, he's more often played on the wing, but Watsonians employing him at fullback at the moment. It just means he's able to hit those angles, just, you know, one player in, and he's managed to get his hands on the ball probably a lot more than he potentially would have done on the wing. And on that occasion, just showing real pace to go round his last man as well, similar to his try last week, which put his team in a great position.
Heriot's with it all to do. They're trailing Watsonians by 29 points to 0 at the interval. Well, a very spicy 40 minutes, another good 40 minutes ahead. We're going to take a short break now and then hear all about a groundbreaking new pilot, the National Academy programme, which has been launched to support the development of promising young Scottish male players.
Mark and Samantha have tied themselves in knots trying to find a new car. It's not rocket science, Mark.
Why isn't it easy?
It is easy.
With Arnold Clark, not only do we guarantee the UK's best used car deals, you can search and compare thousands of cars, adjust your monthly payments, and value your part exchange, all with a few clicks.
Find your car your way. At Arnold Clark, we make it easy.
Gregor, what's been the objective of developing the National Academy pilot programme?
Yeah, a number of objectives, really, to build alignment between all levels of our game, to get the national coaches working with the best young players, using us as a resource at times when we're not with the national team, and for us to build connection with the younger players too. So yeah, it's been a real enjoyable session so far, seeing the quality player we have here, seeing their enthusiasm, and I'm sure they'll learn throughout the couple of days. Some are learning some new techniques for the first time, or new skills. Others are already down that line and they take on that information quicker. But it's really about us working with these players to give them individual feedback, them to be working alongside the best players at their age group too, and seeing them as part of a journey to reaching their full potential, not just this season but in the seasons to come.
It's been a really good session. It's been really good learning with all the national team coaches and then playing with people from different regions, being able to kind of integrate together, and I think it will be a big improvement for all our learning.
Obviously getting coached by national team coaches is absolutely amazing. Just seeing how they see things, obviously with the national team, can really help integrate into our team and how we look to play.
It's a lot of technical work. We've been doing a lot of breakdown work and kind of physical skills and stuff like that, which is maybe something that you're not as focused on at different levels, so it's really helpful. It's
absolutely amazing, obviously getting this exposure so early on in the year with the national team coaches and as one big combined academy group is absolutely amazing, and hopefully I'm sure it will be absolutely beneficial going into Six Nations in the World Cup this year. Obviously quite a big year for under 20s, so we're going to look to really push on this year, and then this will absolutely help us.
Yeah, it's brilliant to be back here at Oriam with this new group of players, combining our world-class coaches with these world-class facilities. We want to really make this a world-class experience for these guys, so to be able to have it all based at Oriam, what's Scotland's National Performance Centre, a real world-class facility, is a real positive to it.
And it's building towards the under-23 game against Italy in December. How does these academy sessions help that?
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity for our coaches who will be leading that under-23 game, for them to have a look at these players and see which of our under-20s and guys in our 2 pro academies will be putting their hands up for selection for those for that Italian game.
Well, welcome to the capital of Scotland and the magnificent Murrayfield Stadium, jam-packed for this Autumn Nations campaign.
Sharp to the pitch. Put the ball in.
Well, it's been a tough opening 40 for Heriot. What can they do in this second period up against the Watsonians team, who have left the home fans smiling and looking for an awful lot more? It's the Heriot side who played last season in the Prem. They won 8 of 18 this season, 5 out of 5. It will be 5 out of 6 unless they can find a way back. 3 of the 5 matches that Heriots have won this season, they've won by over 20 points. Heriots have made a couple of changes, and rather worryingly for this commentator, there's at least 3 players out there with no numbers on the back of their jerseys. We'll worry about that in a moment or two, as Neil Irvin Hess brings his side out of the tunnel. Quick look round the Watsonians team, doesn't look like there's any changes there. Well, they come out with a swagger. So Watsonians looking to avenge some recent defeats. 13 meetings at Super Series level. Heriot's won the last 4, they were unbeaten in 5. October 2022, the last time Watsonians defeated Heriot. That was in the league semi-final.
Perfect. Okay, time is on.
And just over a year ago on this ground, Watsonians nil, Heriot 64. We are looking for a measure of revenge.
Tackle! Okay, nothing silly. I'm inside.
So Heriot's trying to drive the way forward through McLaren.
Okay, stop in front, Heriot. Stop. Stop. Good, thank you. $50-22 on. Work back, Heriot, work!
Oh. Heriots have rung the changes at half time.
No, it's dead.
Freddie Gibson, Kenta Kusana and Rory Steele are all on.
Numbers! Number 7.
Freddie Gibson wearing 20. Sadak has no number. Kitsuna has got no number. He's in the middle of... I don't see a 22 jersey. I think Rory Steele is the other unmarked jersey. He's taken down. Watsonians driving forward once more. Baggett gets the ball away quickly.
Tackle now! Good stick.
Sadak was okay again after that knock in the first half.
Stop in front, Watsons!
Baggett, Jones is immediately underneath it. Outside him is George Cool, but he played on the inside with Zach Ross.
Momentum! Not a foul play.
Heriots emerge with the ball, but again Jones not in great position to kick. Baggett though is. He's taking a good bounce as well, refusing to go over the line. And kept in.
Yeah, cheers.
And sent long by Freddie Gibson. Freddie Osley. It's a boomer of a kick. And taken by Jones. Jones out to steal. That may have been forward from this angle, but the late challenge. And then an overreaction. And then it starts to get a little bit silly. Well, I'm not really sure that the shove was required. Lee Jones is alongside me. Just seemed to be a flashpoint out of nothing.
Yeah, we could see that. I think initially it was a forward pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jersey grabbing. Nothing too much to see, but it's been a fairly tentative start from both sides, just happy to kick and to feel each other out. And I think it would have been a challenging half-time team talk, for both sides, but for different reasons. Watsonians, how do you keep that momentum going? Heriots, how do you flip it around?
I think the first thing you want to do is get yourself on the scoreboard. There's Glendinning battling away there. Out wide it comes from Freddie Gibson. Gibson, the scrum half, plays it out wide onto Jones. Flicked round behind by Ewan McLaren. Lucina gets it out wide past Steele. There's a chance if they can offload it. They've done so. Back on the inside. Great tackle. The offload came from Charlie Jupp. Heriots. It's a long pass all the way through Rory Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick gets it out wide. Glendinning is going for the line, trying to battle his way through. He's held up just short. Gibson. Angus Munro tried to find his way through. Penalty. Angus Munro on his third appearance of the season. Well, there's players down for both sides, so we will take a moment or two.
Your penalty here anyway.
The referee clearly indicating the penalty. Running repairs, Cal Davis is certainly one of the players requiring treatment. Angus Munro getting some treatment as well.
It's your penalty anyway for a high tackle against 50.
This is not what Heriots want, because it kind of takes away the momentum. It's really the first momentum they've had in a long time.
Yeah, and I mentioned it's a tentative start in terms of the kicking game, but there's some huge hits going in from both sides so far, and that was probably, as you say, Paul, the first bit of real momentum that we've seen from Heriots. And it was.
There's not heads in the same spaces, but it's
there's been various players that are making the hits here. You know, you're looking at Angus Munro's trying to lead the charge. The skipper, Rudy Leishman, you can see him trying to get his team up. Charlie Jupp is there. It's a different perspective though for Watsonians. You've got the lead. You're not expecting to lose this game, no matter what, but you can't be complacent either.
And that's what it's going to take as well. I'm sure it was said at half time, but it takes someone to stand up and put in a big hit to lift their team, and that's the sort of thing that can start something good for Heriots. I was mentioning earlier, they just started to string together a few more
legal
passes.
D, don't jump across.
Kenta
Legal defence, don't jump across.
Just manages to put a bit of width on the ball, but with real accuracy.
No blocking.
Thomas Glendinning found himself on the wing. He had a really strong performance last week. Normally a winger, but playing at 13, good both sides of the ball, and he manages to make a dent on that edge.
So the kick to the corner, the line out comes, almost disrupted, but Charlie Jupp gets his hands on it. Linus has it at the back, trying to drive his way through. They're stopped.
Collapse, number 8.
Go again, round the corner, penalty advantage coming to Heriots.
Advantage 8 collapsing.
Jones clips it up into the corner, looking for Steele. Steele can't get there. It is grabbed by Ross. We thought the referee would have come back and taken the penalty from there, but he's allowing Heriots another crack from here.
Now you have the penalty advantage.
Still penalty advantage. So again, try and go the other way. Waiting for it is the captain.
No, can't allow that. He's in front. Back we come.
And he's bundled out. So the referee comes back for the penalty.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether he was holding on to that penalty advantage there, the referee, but he obviously still had it there in his mind. Ross Jones, great tactical kicker of the ball, and with penalty advantage takes the opportunity to try and give his men on the edge an opportunity to win ball.
So Jason Hill, who wears 17, is on. He has replaced Angus Munro. So Hill on for the second time, having been on temporarily in the first half.
Good steal.
Oh, the line out's stolen there. Good play from Watsonians. Davis. Back it comes, Baggett under a little bit of pressure. George Cool has to let that bounce, and it's a cruel bounce.
Ball still live. Ball still live.
Well, he just barreled that into Loman McPherson. Callum Wayminer and David Changlang are the assistants. No love lost there. I'm not really sure George Cool can say that was accidental.
Come on, lads.
I think he was trying to make the point that Loman McPherson was preventing the quick
Numbers,
throw.
please. 5.
I'm not sure if there was anyone to receive the quick
Set
throw.
the gap, please, Blue.
So probably the right call. That.
Yeah, the referee wasn't buying it. The line out again malfunctions. Davis again through the halfbacks. Kerr, Glendenning.
Body to me, body.
That's spilled back. It's on the Heriot side.
Knock on.
Kusuna tries to go through. There could be a card here. That looked like a late hit, and it was.
Lads, I've got clear sight. It's shoulder first and up. It's a yellow.
Well, no great surprise that the referee pinged that one.
High. Shoulder by 4. I understand it's a foul play. I want to give that because it's a card.
A little smile to himself, but that wasn't really particularly clever.
Okay, lads, that's
no, and at a time when
place. Let's just keep the eyes up.
Heriot are looking to try and find some form in this game, and pick up the odd penalty and just get a foothold, because they're really struggling through the line out. It's not allowing them a platform. They've found themselves with penalties, opportunities to kick to touch, but when they're not winning the line out,
perfect. Thank you. 6.
They just can't build on that.
Oh, come on. Front man.
Confirmation, Lewis Ball.
He's there. You're close to
the man who's going to the sin bin, and that will annoy the coaching staff because there was no great reason to do that.
No, it's one of these things that I'm sure he'll regret that himself when he has a good think about it.
Good steal.
Well, they've tried to go to the tail. They can't get there. That's a great little slap back. And Jason Baggett plays it away. It's just not working for Michael Linus at the moment. Normally such a good throw of the ball too.
Yeah, normally the line out functions really well, but I wonder if Watsonians have
time off.
Got the cobweb
Changes, stop.
in the week,
Hang on, Dad.
it
Time's off.
appears
Changes.
that they're competing really well.
7 Watsons.
There's been the odd overthrow, but Watsonians are competing really well and putting pressure on the ball. Pressure on the man at the top of that line. It was a great bit of skill by Murray Scott just to tap it back to Jason Baggett. We talk about it. Tough to get the ball away under pressure.
Watson, set on your front man. You have time. 5 goal. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. In you come, boys.
That's Murray Tink who's on the field. He replaces Stuart Allison. Stuart Allison, busy, productive player. Taken that time by Pat Spence. He's been their best jumper so far. Came through onto Katsuna. Thomas Glendenning trying to drive his way forward, getting some help from Zach Ross. Advantage coming, not allowing the release. Comes through McLaren. McLaren plays it through. Jones taken down well. There's the floated pass out wide. And it's through Leishman trying to bring it back infield. Well, that's a clear out. It's a shame there was no ball there.
Steady. No. No.
Came through too early.
You're low, he's
Charlie
low,
Jupp
no foul play.
just orchestrating things. Well, referee coming into the middle of the field.
One here. Jones, they one here or one further towards the... Yeah, DC mark me to the next one. Keep coming. Yeah. 13, no roll.
Well, the penalty is given for not rolling away. And that's the original sin. And therefore, Heriot's go It's difficult, isn't it, Lee? Because you want to kick to the corner, but you're not convinced you're going to win your own line.
Yeah, and when you're lacking confidence in that,
then you've went for him after he's had enough time.
you just need a few to start going right.
But for me, I think it's not good.
I can't recall, any strong line-out ball from Heriot so far.
That Spencer Ware's 18 has been the best target so far. Well, it's just held on to no more. Round the back it comes. Linus has it. There's the split, but Linus is there. They're trying to get over the line. Still going forward. Linus still has it. He's close. Penalty advantage coming, and penalty try. Heriots get on the board. Michael Linus denied the score, but Heriots get on the board.
Yeah, Heriots managed to get the line out operating. Michael Linus as well, driving that at the back. He won't get credited with it, which I'm sure he'll be disappointed about, but it's a strong maul, just good momentum.
No, not for me.
Watsonians up
Clearly the
fringe.
No, not for me.
And Murray Tink, who's been on the field less than 2 minutes, gets a chance to sit down again. He's been carded. And Watsonians just losing their discipline slightly, down to 13.
Yeah, so far they've been really, you can tell they're keen to put pressure on at ruck, but that's just encouraging them. And Heriots are always going to have the purple patch in the match as well, and Watsonians will grow frustrated with that, but the referee will have eyes on it as well, so there's always going to be decisions go against them. But the discipline so far in the second half has been fairly poor. So that's 2 guys off the field at the moment for Watsonians. A real opportunity for Heriots to try and get some points on the board.
Taken by Steele, lays it off on to Glendenning. Glendenning's held. Marvin Hess then cleaned out.
No left.
Ross Jones getting himself into position. Heriots with a 2-man advantage will try and run it from inside their 22 initially. Try and see if any gaps will open up. Here's Jason Baggett. Baggett, the epitome of calm as he just pops that away. I'm not sure he thought about the drop goal there. Seemed to size it up. Steele taken as he gets rid of the ball. Nosley.
No, fine, not changed.
And Jones.
Inside.
Jones. Well, the way he kicked that, he was hoping for the bounce to go out. It came back infield. There was some kick tennis going on. Steele says, okay, I'll take it. Trying to rumble. Well, that was a kick and a half, and that was a field catch and a half, but offside. Well, if there was ever a get out of jail free card, it was just dished out there.
13, not retreating.
Forget about it, he says.
Yep.
Rory Steele had such momentum onto that kick as well, because Jason Baggett kicked down the middle of the field, which just opened it up on that right hand side, and I think Rory Steele just second guessed himself there. He was running and then he thought, I can put this in behind. Fortunately for him,
even if he's not the first man, he still has to
already had the penalty.
Yeah, cheers. Mark's here, boys. Time off.
So Heriot's making changes once more. William Dineen was on and off.
Stop!
Here's the chance to get things moving for Heriots. And Dineen attacking, good tackling by Watsonians.
Tackle's made! Tackle is made! Play
They
on!
may have felt in this second half that this game was won. But Heriots are trying to find a way back in. There's Jupp with a dummy run. Angus Monroe back on the field, dropped the shoulder.
Still in. No knock on, regather.
Ronan Sadak is off once more. Penalty. Hands on the deck.
Hands to ground first, then body. Off feet.
Yep, we talk about momentum. Heriot's finding a bit now just with a few offloads. Jason Hill with a wee juggle, but manages to get the offload away. And it's just keeping that Watsonians defence on the back foot. You know, when they're operating well, they like to slow the ball down, they like to get set, they like to get off the line, but when they can't slow that ball down, they're on the back foot.
Heriot's flicker out with Denning, reaches out those long arms of his to gather. Cecil trying to drag him down. Here's Pat Spence. He plays from Monroe, trying to get the ball back again. Little flick on the inside as to Rory Fitzpatrick, yellow carded in the first half. Trying to break through the middle. Picked up by Leishman. Heriots are through. They get a second try of the second half. They get themselves into double figures. And while Watsonians are still comfortable on the scoreboard, it's a little bit less comfortable than it was some 10-12 minutes ago.
Yeah, things can change quickly. And Watsonians losing men to the sin bin. Heriot's managed to strike. Jason Hill takes a snipe close to the breakdown, and then it's Leishman, presence of mind just to pick that up and go straight over. It's a tough ask for Murray Scott to stop the number 8 from that distance.
Loose ball is about to come back onto the field.
Let's go, please, Watsons.
So Heriots are 2 tries in the second half. It's a fixture that's averaged over 9 tries a game in the last 7 or 8 matches.
One minute on the first. Time back on.
So the conversion successful. So 29 Watsonians, 14 Heriots.
Good catch.
Taken by Steele, wrapped up by Irvin Hess. And then the penalty. Well, just holding on too much and not releasing the man with the ball. Penalty count started to creep up against Watsonians as well, and I think if you're Davy Wilson, you're a little bit disappointed. As good as you enjoyed the first half, you're a little bit disappointed with the play in the second.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a challenge as well it's a challenge for Watsonians to have played so well in the first half, for everything to have gone your way. You know it's potentially not going to be the same in that second half, and you know, how do you approach that? I think Watsonians have grown frustrated and they're trying to win the ball back. They want it to be the same as it was in the first half, but Heriots have stood up.
Here come Heriots going in and picks that out there. Steele with the offload with a very quick Zach Ross driving in. But Watsonians had all the players there, Roman McPherson, and now there's a little bit of coming together, more players arriving. They're just trying to separate each other. And again, the odd flashpoint, 1 or 2 hugs from players. It's a competitive sport, and sometimes you just wonder when players fall awkwardly, you immediately react, think, is your teammate being hard done by? There's nothing in that.
Yeah, and you can see it's sort of bubbled over on a couple of occasions, and it comes with the derby as well. You know, when 2 teams at the top end of the league, it's really competitive as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Fortunately, nothing too serious, but yeah, we've seen it almost bubble over.
One for the referee, Michael Todd, who's keeping a good grip on things. Ball is back on the field, ball is back in hand. There's Baggett. Steele watches, but all it can do is run out of play. So the referee is coming back. Well, Heriot's getting themselves back to within 15 points. The conversion coming after the try by Rory Leishman. And a simple kick. They didn't take the time, just that little drop kick.
I'll let you know.
Pinged over by Ross Jones.
Second yellow, DC, what's the time? 30 seconds.
An hour
Thank you,
played.
thank you.
Yellow cards, tries,
2 minutes on the yellow.
a few scuffles. It's been fun.
It's been good, and the cliche, but it has been a game of two halves. I think now that we approach this final quarter of the game, we'll see how things pan out. Watsonians have been frustrated for the first 20 minutes of the second half, but you know, they are due their time in the second half as well, so they look to try and hold on to ball here, I'm sure.
Donovan 17 at the front, he's the lifter for Seb Cecil. The ball was dropped, but it was not backwards. Leishman goes in, tries to rip it away. Murray Scott.
Low. Ball is there. Ball is there.
Referee talking well to the players.
Flat.
Murray Scott again.
Ball in line.
Tom Gracie adds his bulk to the pack and now allows Watsonians to get things wide. Penalty. Just driving in.
Get the ball. Clear roll. Clear roll.
And again, in the first half, Watsonians wouldn't have done that. They would have been a little bit more structured, a little bit calmer. They just seem to be rushing things a little bit.
Yeah, it's frustration, isn't it? Just mentioned it there, but they'll be getting frustrated that they've not had hands on the ball, they've not been able to build phases, there's no real territory, not made any advancement on the scoreboard, so they'll be, you know, getting twitchy in that sense, that they want to put their stamp on this second half, but Heriot won't allow it, and the referee is almost looking against them at the moment.
So Murray Tink is back on for Watsonians, having been involved for all of 2 minutes before he got yellow carded. Spence took it well. Rumbling through is Ewan McLaren, making good yardage as well. Glendinning offering the inside to Steele. Freddie Gibson's done well since coming on. Gets the ball away again. Here's Gus Monroe. Watsonians almost getting a turnover. Jones on the inside. Somehow Ross held on to that. He's being held up. Linus then drives in. The ball drops down, but it was knocked on.
Not for me.
And the home crowd like that one.
Yeah, good defence around the ruck from Watsonians. Ross Jones had to step back in under real pressure. And then it was Zach Ross who took the ball into a couple of Watsonians defenders just waiting for him on the inside.
Let's go, boys.
Well, the Heriot's coaching staff, Bob McCulloch, Stuart Edwards, Jamie Parker and John Hardy, will be much more impressed with this second half performance this season in the Premiership. Aaron Heriot's coming into the weekend, perfect 5 out of 5. Heriot's in trouble here. Every team has a win in the division. Jed Forrest went through last season without a win in the top flight. But every team so far are on the board. The scrums come round and will be reset.
Yeah, it's been a really competitive league so far in the first 5 fixtures, and unsurprisingly you probably see that, you know, the teams that have come through from Super Series are sitting at the top there, but any of these fixtures across the board so far I think have been really tough to call. It's real competition. It's still early days in terms of a long season, especially when you compare it to Super Series, but I think so far it's been very competitive.
12 teams play home and away.
Crouch!
And the beauty of that is always a chance to carry a grudge into the return fixture. Not saying Lee Jones, the man alongside me, would ever have done that. Still on at 9 is Murray Scott. Look at the direct running there. McPherson goes in to help. Scott gets it off. Irvin Hess, that was ripped away. The ball went bouncing off. It would be an advantage to Heriots. Well, they have a man down who's getting some attention. Gibson plays it through. Ross gets it moving. Nicely done. Zach Ross at 11 took the pass nicely from Jones. Heriot's again making some ground, and Michael Lennis with the spill. But Ailsley says, okay, I'll have another run. That breaks down. Gibson gathers. And then on to Ross. Hill. On the inside it goes, on to Spency. Our man's played well.
Don't play him.
Freddie Gibson points it out to Jones. Jones gets it out wide. Jupp is there. That looked forward. And if we can spot that on the opposite side, at the back of the stand, possibly the furthest point away from us, then I suspect Michael Todd had a much easier time of things.
Time off.
Yeah, I think that one definitely went forward. We had a good vantage point.
I'll have a look.
Game just breaking up a little bit. Legs maybe getting tired. You could see from Watsonians they attacked down this left-hand side, and fortunately for Heriot they managed to rip the ball and tackle, because you could see the Heriot scrum still retreating with Watsonians on the front foot, and it just looks like fatigue's starting to set in a wee bit on both sides.
There's Thomas Gracie.
Yeah, clock's accurate.
Fifth appearance this season, a couple of tries. They came against Hoyk last week. We touched a little bit on the Premiership. Hoyk were first in the table, winning 16 or 18 last term. Drew one, lost one. 6 points ahead of Mard in seconds, yet we've just had the one win this season.
Yeah, and it's similar with Curry Chieftains as well, who ended up winning the league. You know, they've really struggled for some form so far, and you know, potentially a hard couple of fixtures. They had to go to Ayr in the opening one, but they've just struggled to pick up momentum. And like I say, it's a long season, but it's important for teams to pick up these wins early on. And with 3 teams for relegation next year, as the league goes down to 10, you know, if you're not picking up these wins early in the season, you start to, I'm sure that starts to play on the minds of players and clubs alike.
So Michael Todd just bringing things back together.
Time back on.
So Watsonians stepping up to Premiership level with the Super 16. Heriot's were already at that level last term. So mixing the squads. And now have come through the 2 very strong teams. Heriot's will be disappointed, I suspect, with that first half performance. Let's put them on the back foot for most of the night. Scott did well. There's the offload. Again, not held. Watsonians come again through Baggett. Baggett drops it on the inside. There's an opportunity for Lewis Berg to try and smash through. But in from the side.
Never in the gate, clearly right round the side.
Owsley's played well, but just coming in from the wrong angle again. Give Heriot's the chance to do what they didn't do a great deal in the first half, and that was spend time inside the opposition territory.
Yeah, they're really feeding off Watsonians' infringements in the second half, making the most of it. From their point of view, hopefully they can get their line out functioning here.
If Heriot's could sneak another try here and then just be down, say, you know, with 10 minutes to play, that penalty at the end of the first half is looking like it could be a very important one. Jones, Glendinning, Kerr done a lot of defensive work in this second half. Not seen him as that attacking force that he was in the first. Gibson plays it in behind. Ewan McLaren, 25-year-old former Southern Knight, moves his way forward, gets it across. It's Hill. Now it's 17. And Gibson trying to drive on as well. Hill once more. Everywhere he turns, he sees Watsonian jerseys. Heriot skipper's in trouble at the moment. Leishman's limping. That could have been an intercept. Well, the referee deciding it was a penalty and no more. It's one of these ones, isn't it, Lee? You think you're going to get that, and I think Baggett thought he was going to come through there.
I think he was in a good position, although he was very stretched out.
Actually, on second viewing, it didn't look so good, but certainly in real time, didn't look like such an issue. Kieran Watt is coming on. Harry Fisher 2 for Watsonians.
Time's off. Just don't have the numbers.
Heriots have had to bring Ronan Sidak back on again, so Sidak is on.
Anyway for Watsons as well. Let me set. Yeah. Okay, Henry, come please. Time is back on.
Well, Lewis Ball getting the applause when the handshakes down pitch side as he goes off as Heriots watches Watsonians break away. That will be straight. Ross uses his football skills well. Then runs into Ferrio's who wasn't going to be fooled by that little dummy. Jones through the hands of Fitzpatrick. Jupp does well. Fitzpatrick again. Oh, was it unconvinced, I have to say, by Murray Tink there. Glendinning. Lovely little drop on the shoulder. Ross, the runner, somehow stays up. Still going. Little pass on the inside. On to Gibson. Heriot's coming again. McLaren pulls it out. Jones lifts it wide. It's a horrible one though for Rory Fitzpatrick. And as that move comes to a close, I thought Murray Tink was lucky. I wasn't sure there was arms in that tackle.
Yeah, he was very low. And he shot out the line.
I didn't do that.
It'd be interesting if the referee could see it back, but it's a tough one there. There was space on the edge. It would have at least given Rory Fitzpatrick an opportunity to go at his opposite number. It's a line break from Zach Ross on the far side that put Heriot's into position. Just beginning to find a few gaps. Thomas Glendinning, stepping. They're trying to find offloads, and I think they're just playing with a lot more confidence now that they got 2 tries on the board. They could sense an opportunity that, like you say, Paul, if they get another score here, then it really puts the game into the balance.
Okay, let's go. Mark's here.
It'll be very interesting to see what the coaches make of this after the game. I mean, Heriot's obviously disappointed with their first half, much better second. The reverse is true for Watsonians. But again, you smile at the game of rugby sometimes, because if you'd said to me, look, Watsonians won't score in the second half and we're in 72 minutes, say, that's never going to happen. Innes Hiller's preparing to come on for Heriots. This team back in April 2022, these two teams shared 66 points in a 33 each draw. Heriots would need to score 3 times to try and get on level terms. And with 8 minutes to go, Watsonians are too savvy for that to happen. Penalty 1 though. And here, just a strong scrum. Well, Watsonians thought they got away with that. They got the ball away, but referee Michael Todd insisted that the scrum was illegal.
Yeah, it was a powerful scrum for Heriots. And like you say, I thought Watsonians had just managed to get it away at the back of the scrum, but Michael Todd had other thoughts.
Line is yours, Watsons.
I hope you're enjoying all the action tonight, live from Myreside in Edinburgh. 2 old Edinburgh rivals. There was the scrum coming up. It's all about timing. Another referee might have thought, yep, you just got that out in time. Michael Todd thought not. Disrupted again. Ball is breaking. Chance, Heriot score. That's Rory Fitzpatrick, I think, dropped on the ball. We'll get confirmation in a moment. But Heriot's found that just going wide. And they just dived on the ball. Well, it was Messi. Keep your eye on number 6. He's breaking to the side. And he gets the score. Third try of the evening for Heriots.
Yeah, the momentum with the attacking team. Liver Hess almost needs to wait for that just to get down on it. But he's beaten to it, and the loose ball from the line out when you've got a bouncing ball on the try line like that, it's anybody's, but it's always going to play an advantage of the team that's moving forward. And
big shift, boys.
Heriots take full advantage.
Game, potentially.
First try of the season for Rory Fitzpatrick. And this to cut the gap just to 8 points. Jones with the kick. Jones sneaks it in. (29-21). 8 points in it. Just over 5 minutes to play. Well, it went up in there. It took a horrible bounce from a Watsonian perspective. And all of a sudden, Heriots are back in this. Watsonians, that is a heck of a take. Now this could change the momentum of things. Evan Hess and Davis standing. Douglas pulls it on the inside. Ronan Kerr trying to find a way to run. You can see those legs pumping away.
No, 17, leave it! Thank you.
Good old contest this. There's Kieran Watt taken down. Watsonians just want to score to settle the nerves, to tuck this game away. Lewis Berg, Penny Owsley in support. Owsley's continuing with Linus.
DC, watch that.
Just trying to watch that as they suddenly do part. Penalty to Heriots. Linus had got on the ball and there was no release coming. Carl Davis watches as dropping back. Donald Vos didn't give up the ball. Tasty.
Yeah, Watsonians just hanging on. 4 minutes to play. Everything's gone against them in this second half. And you mentioned it earlier, Paul, but that penalty when they managed to go the length from the scrum on their own line could potentially be very, very important.
For me, you're both on the floor, you're both contested. Not if you're both in the air, or you're both.
Well, as a commentator, I hate cliches, but cliches are there for a reason because they claim to be true. And this is the dictionary definition of a game of two halves.
It has been go back to a challenge for both teams at half time. How do Watsonians almost replicate that? You know, they'll probably look back on it and they didn't have to replicate that first half. If they'd kept their discipline, you know, I think they've probably looked the better side, you know, across the whole game tonight. But they just lost their discipline, especially that third quarter, which allowed Heriot's a nuke into this game, and then they've just managed to ride that momentum, you know, gain an opportunist score there on their own line, but they put themselves in good position, and it's teed it up for a good finish.
So that is sent out of play.
Use your line. Numbers. 5.
Well, our colleagues on BBC ALBA are showing this game. We're doing this for the English language commentary, so we will decide who our man of the match is. As Jupp takes it, comes into Gibson. Gibson onto Jones. Jones with Sunak challenged in the midfield. Baggett trying to rip the ball away. Gibson looks left, looks right, comes back right again. McLaren just taken down by Irvin Hess. Penalty. Just not releasing. And to earn a penalty for not releasing on the halfway line, that has been greeted like a score by the Watsonian crowd.
That was one of the loudest cheers of the day, and I think they could sense how important that was with the the way the second half's gone, the time on the clock, you know, the way the referee probably leaned towards Heriot in terms of how the infringements have fallen. But that's an important penalty to win. Jason Baggett will get an opportunity to put Watsonians in a strong position to finish this half.
Plenty of contenders for the player of the match, Lee.
Line, please, Heriot.
It's not an easy decision on a night like this, especially, you know, when Watsonians have gone for the first half and Heriot have come for the second. But who is your player of the match?
Where there's been, like you say, there's been some strong performances. Watsonians obviously very strong in that first half. I think Fred Owsley, for me, was standout both sides of the ball in that half, and the interventions that he had led to scores. You know, I think he was very good in attack from full back. He showed his outstanding pace. And then, you know, defensively, he took his high ball as well. He put the opposition under pressure, and he was niggly as well in the contact, which I thought he was a real competitor, and he probably stood out for me.
Thanks, Lee. So he's the pick of the bunch from the back of the stand here as we watch, as Watsonians are trying to see this game out. Heriots have showed steel through steel. Gibson, Hill, Jason Hill, and Innes Hill is on. Innes Hill with a black scrum cap. That's Charlie Jupp. Charlie Jupp with a lovely little skip step, tries to play it back onto Innes Hill. Heriots are just having to fling the ball about now. But it's Watsonians who have it. 29 points, all in the first half.
Let's go, please.
Kieran Watt drops the shoulder. This will be Heriot's first defeat of the league season. Here with a chance to make it 6 out of 6 tomorrow, and they travel to Kelso. Roman McPherson. Well, he might have a winger's body, but he's got a forwards mentality. Murray Scott drove in.
Okay, let's go, please. Arrive up, Watsons, arrive up! Good.
Back on the inside. Carl Davis didn't want to engage there. Bodies flying. Baggett under pressure, gets it off to Watt. Watt rides the initial challenge. Well, the penalty comes to Heriots again. Not releasing. Well, Michael Todd has been the calmest man out there tonight, calling the decisions. Good communications with both teams. Time off for now. So 80 minutes shown. I think there will be about 30 seconds still to play on the match clock. Murray Scott is the player who's down. He's impressed me actually, Murray Scott. The nine's played well. Tenacious. Good quick passing as well.
Yes.
Well, these two teams will be getting ready for the handshakes and hugs in a moment or two.
Holding on.
But it really has been a strong second half from Heriots. Ross Jones sends it long. This really should be the final action of the match. Taken short, knocked on. Well, an 8-point lead going into the final few seconds. Watsonians have this game won, but what they don't want is Heriots doing any more damage. And just, they tried to go short, and it wasn't a bad idea actually.
Yeah, the game's gone from a Heriot's point of view, but I think they can, potentially score points. They get a losing bonus point. They score a try, they then get try bonus and losing bonus points. So there's a couple of points in terms of league position still for them in this. But with Watsonians' possession at the scrum, I mean, Neil Evans might go the length. And
there is always that. Yeah, quite right though about the try bonus. It's always worth a look, but Watsonians may well go down swinging here. And they want to go in the changing room having got some points in this second half. 50 points, one of the lower scores between these two. Scrum will be reset.
That's why it's a reset. That's why it's a reset. Up on the mark.
Well, a knock on as the ball came out. That's a slight mystery to us from here. It's now Heriot who'll have the put in. We don't have the benefit of referee Mike, so we cannot clarify that decision.
Crouch!
Well, he indicated that there was for Heriots, but Watsonians have the ball. So it is for the initial reset, as we thought.
Set!
And then the free kick is awarded. That signal is pretty clear. That is it. It's all over at Myreside. 29 points for Watsonians, all coming in the first half. 21 points for Heriots, all coming in the second. Well, Watsonians took the game to Heriots at the start, and Watsonians just in the second half didn't replicate that form. Heriots, though, showing a much better appetite in that second half. But Lee, I just thought Watsonians were a little bit slow to start. In fact, didn't really get started in that second 40.
Yeah, they were so good in that first half, and they just struggled to emulate, what got them into good positions, good possession in that first half. And their discipline, I think, cost them, especially early in that second half. They lost 2 guys to the bin. It allowed Heriots into the match, and they then... The frustration grew for Watsonians, who then infringed a bit more, and it really swung the match, in favour of Heriots in that second half. Watsonians will be disappointed not to get on the board in that second half, but when they look at the league points, they got a 4-try bonus point. They had the game won essentially by half time against a team that's went 5 from 5. They'll be very pleased with that.
Yeah, that's Heriot's first defeat of the season. That will be a disappointment for Bob McCulloch and his coaching staff. We'll take a lot of positives from the way they played in the second 40. I certainly think Davy Wilson will be asking 1 or 2 questions of his team, but that will wait for the post-mortem rather than the dressing room. They've come today to do what they wanted to do, and that was to end Heriot's unbeaten start to the season and finally get a win against Heriots. They hadn't won any of the last 5 Watsonians, so they'll be delighted.
Yeah, it was a tough ask, and they've come away with it. From a Heriot's point of view, there'll be real frustration there that, what happened in that first half. They'll look back on that, and, as an away team, you can often blame it on the bus journey, but as you say, maybe the traffic was bad, but they just didn't get started. And yes, things didn't go their way, but they weren't able to stop that momentum, and they'll look back at that first half and wonder what went wrong.
So both teams will break off having gone through all the handshakes, and they'll go into their respective huddles for a quick chat and a few words about the match, and they'll hit the dressing rooms and get a well-earned refreshment. Watsonians have defeated Heriots by 29 points to 21 in the Arnold Clark Men's Premiership. A win for Watsonians, much welcome win for them as well. And Heriots will settle for winning 5 of 6 in this start to this new season. Well, in the first half, all the scores belonged to Watsonians. In the second half, well, they belonged to Heriots. Penalty try was the first one, and then the second try, Leishman, who thought he touched down already for the penalty try, did get over the line on that occasion.
Yeah, he had a good game in the second half. Rory Leishman leading from the front, did some good work on the edge where he often finds himself, but then just picks up, carries on the momentum of his pack there, gets himself over for the score.
Ross Jones, a little drop goal conversion, just making sure. Well, the third try, I mean, this was just one of these unlucky ones if you're a Watsonians player, but you've got to give credit to Rory Fitzpatrick for reading what might happen.
Yeah, and it's whoever reacts quickest, and it's a bouncing ball. You know, the Heriots line out struggled to function pretty much all evening. On that occasion it fell in their favour, and when you've got a bouncing ball in the try line, it can be anyone's, and Heriots managed to pounce for their third try.
But they just couldn't find a way of finding try number 4. They had 6 minutes still to do that, but couldn't find a way to really get a lot of pressure. Weren't really in the 22 that often. They were just at the very end, but the short line out didn't work for them, and that presented possession back the way of Watsonians. So the match is coming up tomorrow. Curry will get the chance to get back on track against Mar. Glasgow Hawks will entertain Melrose. Kelso Ayr could be the pick of the bunch. Musselburgh entertain Hoyk, who won 16 matches out of 18 in the league last term. And Selkirk, on good form, welcome Edinburgh Accies. And that will be a good game as well. All those matches tomorrow kicking off at 3 o'clock. Well, a night of scoring. Watsonians with all the points in the first half, Heriots with a reply in the second, but it was enough for Watsonians to inflict the first defeat of the season on Heriots by 29 points to 21. We hope you've enjoyed all of the action here in the Arnold Clark Men's Premiership. It was a good night. 50 points shared between these two old rivals. Watsonians come out on top. For Lee Jones, myself, Paul Mitchell, and the whole crew, thanks for watching. Bye for now.